Oh, good morning YouTube, I didn't see you there. It's Dave here, and we're back out on Dartmoor again for another adventure. Today I'm following the Wray Valley Trail, which is a 7-mile hiking and cycling route along the eastern edge of Dartmoor. It runs from Moultonhampstead back there, which is the little town that you've seen in the intro, and it heads all the way down to Bovey Tracey following an old Victorian railway line. It's about a 7-mile route and it's mostly traffic free, but there is about a mile that's on roads, but I'm told they're fairly quiet roads. So let's see how we go, shall we? It's a drizzly July morning today, and you can see I've already stopped and put my waterproof on, put my bag cover on as well, because it's just started to die down a bit now. But after I did that last bit to camera, it suddenly started hammering it down, and it's supposed to do this on and off throughout the day, so it's going to be a wet one, I think, although it is quite a nice temperature for walking. But yeah, I think I am going to get quite wet on this week's walk. This looks like a very rusted old piece of track, metal and concrete here. The railway track that I'm following today was built by the Victorians and completed in 1866, and it ran until 1959 when it was finally closed to the public. It must have made a huge difference to the residents of these two relatively isolated towns on the edge of Dartmoor back in Victorian times when they first opened. This railway track would have been not only the link to each other, but probably a link to the outside world for them as well. Of course, if you're a regular watcher of my videos, you've seen this bit of the trail already. You'd have seen it in this video, where I did a guided walk around East Dartmoor. That was a beautiful walk, but we did only stick to the Wray Valley Trail for about the first mile or so. Maybe a mile and a half, can't remember exactly now. But I'll point out where we turned off and where we're hitting new ground. But that's the only time I've been to the Wray Valley before, so I'm looking forward to this. Well, one thing's for sure, it's a well-marked trail, on this portion of it anyway. It's about the 5th sign I've seen for it already, and we've only just started really. And no, your eyes doth not deceive you. I have taken the waterproof back off again and taken the bag cover off my backpack, because it's pretty much stopped raining again now. It's typical summer weather in Britain, and Dartmoor certainly. But even when it was raining, it was a bit warm with the waterproof jacket on, so to be honest, I think unless there's an absolute downpour, I'm probably just going to leave it off for the rest of the hike regardless. One thing I do remember about this early section of the trail from when I did it in that guided East Dartmoor walk is that this first section close to Moultonhampstead is quite busy. There's a lot of joggers and dog walkers around, and that rings true this morning, same as it was then. And this particular section of it follows right alongside the road. You could probably hear some cars going past just then, but the road is just the other side of this hedge. So we're literally right alongside it. So you can see why it's busy, but it is a lovely little walk if you live around here, so you can see why people use it, can't you? This is the section where I left the trail last time on the Moultonhampstead North Bovey circular walk for East Dartmoor. I went up that way and turned right and crossed a bridge, but the Wray Valley Trail goes this way and goes underneath that bridge. So it's all new territory from this point on, so we'll see what the Wray Valley Trail has to offer. This part of the trail is quite nice because although the road is right there, you can't see it because of all the ferns. You only really remember it's there when you hear a car thunder past. I wanted to make this video on the Wray Valley Trail because it seemed like a really nice route to walk, but also I haven't seen many hiking videos on YouTube about it, and that's a shame. It's a beautiful, easily accessible, tranquil and relatively easy walk within Dartmoor National Park. So if you're new to hiking and maybe the tors, hills and open moorland of High Dartmoor are scary to you, then this could be the perfect way to cut your teeth on hiking. Oh, man down, or tree down in this case. Just go fight my way through. Oh, I just jumped out of my skin, YouTube. I was putting the tripod away after the shot where I walked through the fallen tree. And as I took my backpack off, tucking the tripod into its home, on the side pocket with the compression straps around it, and I just look over onto the other side of my backpack around here, the fattest spider you've ever seen. Like, this thing looked like a tarantula. I'm not exaggerating, it was huge. It's like probably, well, not the size of my hand, but like the size of the palm of my hand. Big fat thing it was as well, big thick hairy legs. Jumped out my skin. It was obviously landed on my backpack as I've pushed through that fallen tree. That's something to watch out for if you're doing this walk. The fields and meadows of earlier on the trail have given way to this thick woodland where the trees are covered in moss and the ground is choked in undergrowth. Section of the trail is lovely and quiet. I've not seen anyone for about the last mile and a half, something like that, so it's nice to have the Wray Valley Trail all to myself for this part anyway. But it's going to change soon. We're approaching the village of Lustleigh, which I think I'll be at in the next 10-15 minutes or so, so we'll definitely see some people then. But if you are doing this walk, there's a chance to stock up, and there might be some toilets there to go to the toilet, because there's not really anywhere to duck off the trail and use the loo. You can hear the river meandering along beneath us, but can't see much of it. Get the odd glimpse here and there, but mostly we're quite a bit higher up than the river, so we're kind of blocked from being able to see it. This is a pretty cool section. Cliffs to the right and left, and the trail that was once the railway track just kind of barrels through the middle of them. What a cool section of the trail that was. Would have been very narrow for trains going through it back in the day, but yeah, it's amazing. Those steep rock walls on either side, and it's just been completely taken over by ferns and foliage. You can hear the river again off to my left. that snaked away from that bit. Couldn't hear it at all in there, it was dead silent. But it's back again now. It's somewhere down there, but we can't see it at the moment from up here. Here we are entering the village of Lustleigh now, and it's lorded over by what I believe is Lustleigh Cleeve up there. Well, it's a steep uphill section once you're out on the road. The walk's been relatively level up to now because we've been following an old railroad track, but you can see, well, again, the camera doesn't do it justice, but I've been climbing already for a few minutes, and I've got quite a bit more climbing to go by the looks of it. It wouldn't be a walk on Dartmoor without a climb, would it? And as much as we're on the edge of the national park today, it is still Dartmoor. So, wrong turn. I did think that that can't be a cycle route going up there, but that's the footpath it says leads towards Bovey Tracey, the Hatherley Lane footpath, I think it said. The sign's just around here, so have a look. Yeah, Hatherley Lane footpath towards Bovey Tracey. But I'm actually supposed to follow the road down here. So I did think I'd gone wrong, because that sign did say that we'd be following the road for a mile. And as much as that climb was steep, and it felt like quite a long way, it's nowhere near a mile, it's maybe a couple of 100 metres. But it's a couple of 100 metres of climbing that I didn't need to do, because now I'm walking back down to rejoin what I was going to say was the main road then, but it's not a main road, it's just more of a main road than this track. This be the way to go along this road here. See what I mean about it not being a main road. But this is Knoll Road, it said on the map, so that's the road that you want to follow out of Lustleigh. Fun fact, I was in Knoll House when I was in primary school. We won the Sports Day Cup like 4 years in a row. I think we won the House Points Cup 4 years as well, maybe? Can't remember, it was a long time ago. I'm old. That's really cool. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that would have been for tying your horse up on the lane outside your cottage or house, farm, whatever's in there behind that wall. That's how you know you're in an area with a lot of history, some old buildings. Speaking of, check out this one. These buildings are so cool. That one in particular, with the thatch roof that comes all the way down, or almost all the way down to the floor. It reminds me of like a house that you'd see in like a kids TV show when I was growing up. I can't remember what it was though. Thinking like Tots TV? Was it Tots TV? It looks like what I call Dartmoor proper up that way. Could be Black Hill, looking at the map, not 100% sure. As I say, this trail, this walk is within the bounds of Dartmoor National Park, but that kind of wild open expanse, the open moorland, is what you really think of as Dartmoor. The high moor, I guess, is another word for it, and that's what it looks like we could see just for that brief moment over that way. That's the first sighting of that on this walk. And do check out some of my other videos, because I do plenty of videos hiking up there. Little bird just flew past right behind the GoPro. Yeah, I do plenty of videos hiking up on the high moor. It's well worth checking them out if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, because some of those views that you get up on the high moor, on Dartmoor proper, they're absolutely stunning. That looks like, is it a gum tree that you get in Australia? It certainly looks like some kind of Australian tree. Half expecting to see a kookaburra sitting up there laughing away at me. Hello. How are you? Got a friend as well. Hi. Cool, we've had it all today, haven't we? Sheep, cows and now ponies. That's how you know you're on a proper Dartmoor hike. Of course, normally they're running wild all around us, and today they've all been in fields, but it's still nice to see them nonetheless. This looks like some kind of old shelter of some kind. Almost looks like a bus stop, but on a train line. I think you'd have to be facing some pretty dire weather to take shelter in there now. It's very overgrown. This last section of the trail's been very busy. Can't move for dog walkers. I think it's because a combination really of we're getting closer to Bovey Tracey, which is the largest town along the Wray Valley Trail and the end of the Wray Valley Trail. So we're getting close to that, but also it's later in the day now. It's 11:30, so people are actually awake. We've dropped right down to the river now for this final section. Oh, having to duck to get under here. It's very low. We're right down next to the river. We're pretty much at the end of the walk, so I'm going to sign off now. I don't think there's a sign or anything to mark the end of it. I can't imagine there is for a 7-mile hike. But thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, hit like on it and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you again soon for another adventure. Cheers.